Jacqueline Bisset is that actress that was once revered as the most beautiful woman in the world. But despite her beauty, she was not able to get married or have her own kids. Why? She recently revealed the reason, and it is more shocking than what her father's words did to her. Follow us along in this video as we unveil the shocking stories about the life Jacqueline Bisset while showing you some of her rare photos. Independence has always been the cornerstone of Jacqueline Bisset's life. Growing up in Towhurst, Berkshire as the daughter of a GP and a lawyer turned housewife, Bisset started working at 18, first as a model, then as an actress. Her pains and struggles started quite early in her life. Her mother, Arlette, had been diagnosed with multiple sclerosis when Jacqueline was 15 and when her father, Max, left the family shortly afterward. Now, the weighty bulk of taking care of the household has suddenly fallen on young Jacqueline's lap, and she has to grow up faster to be able to handle it. Jacqueline had to take on the responsibility of caring for her mother, and this duty quickly became a central focus in her life, lasting nearly 4 decades until her mother's passing in 1999. In those 4 decades, Jacqueline could care less about anything else in the world. All she knew was her mother, her well-being, and her health. All she wanted for her mother was to live forever, but unfortunately, she lost her to the cold hands of death. Although her mother's death took a toll on her, that phase of her life instilled in her a deep understanding of compassion, which was made glaring in her performance in the film Miss You Already. In it, Jacqueline found a role that resonated deeply with her personal journey. The story revolves around the lifelong friendship of Jess, played by Drew Barrymore, and Millie, portrayed by Toni Collette. The movie explored the impact Millie's breast cancer diagnosis had on her loved ones and herself, with Jacqueline playing the role of Miranda, Millie's mother, an actress who initially struggles to come to terms with her daughter's illness but manages the best she can. Jacqueline's first adventure into show business began in the early 1960s when she graced the silver screen in a series of minor roles. But a turning point in her career won't come until 1967 when she landed the role of Norma Mark, a troubled young woman grappling with the complexities of love in the British film Two for the Road. Her portrayal of this character resonated deeply with moviegoers, and her breakthrough performance in the movie showcased her versatility as an actress and her ability to captivate both critics and audiences alike. So, it's not a surprise that Jacqueline's star began to rise after that, and the world took notice of her undeniable talent and, of course, her beauty. In fact, she was once hailed as the most beautiful screen actress of our time. But what was supposed to be a hearty compliment would end up being her greatest undoing, and it all started with her father's words to her. "Your mother and I made your looks. You have nothing to do with them." While it was a well-meaning statement, it unintentionally fueled an obsession within her. In a surprising revelation, Bisset confesses that despite her incredible looks, she has never felt confident about her appearance. This lack of confidence in her physical appearance prevented her from fully embracing her beauty and enjoying life's frivolities. Even though others would shower her with compliments, describing her as a beautiful woman, she couldn't internalize it. She felt out of control of that aspect of her life, and this feeling may have been the cause of the great turmoil she experienced in her personal relationships. Jacqueline was never married, nor had children. It wasn't as if she didn't date men. In fact, it's almost impossible to think the most beautiful woman in the world didn't have men rallying around for a hand in marriage. As you would have expected, she had many men flocking in for her. She dated many of them, with some of those relationships lasting years, yet she never got married and never had children. Why? One of the earliest and most notable relationships in Jacqueline's life was with the legendary actor Michael Saran. Their love blossomed in the 1960s while working together on the film The Sweet Ride. She recounted that her father saw a photograph of him once and said, "Don't marry him, he looks moody." And of course, according to Jacqueline, her father was absolutely right. He was moody, but lovely too. The chemistry between them spilled over from the silver screen into their personal lives, creating a bond filled with passion and tenderness. but unfortunately, it ended 7 years later. After eventually parting ways with Saran, Jacqueline's heart found solace in the arms of Algerian entrepreneur and businessman Victor Dray. But Jacqueline's life took an unexpected turn when she fell under the spell of the brilliant and blonde Russian ballet dancer Alexander Gardner. Gardner garnered fame through his roles in movies starring Harrison Ford and Bruce Willis. Their love affair, which began in the early 1980s, and their connection was profound. Despite being a handful, Gardner possessed a genuine sweetness, and Jacqueline cherishes the moments they created together, pointing out that she accepted him as he was, without attempting to change him. Tragically, Gardner's life was cut short in 1995 due to complications from alcoholism. Although they had been separated for 7 years back then, Jacqueline was struck by reports that he had passed away surrounded by photographs of her. The veracity of these accounts remains uncertain, but the love they once shared was undeniable. But way before Gardner's death, Bisset had already embarked on yet another captivating romance with the talented Swiss actor Vincent Perez in 1988. The union brought together two creative souls, sharing a deep connection grounded in their shared love for the arts. But unfortunately, that relationship also ended in 1992. If you're paying close attention, you'd easily notice that almost all the relationships she got herself into sounded beautiful as long as they last. In fact, she herself said she never had a bad relationship, ever. If that's the case, why then didn't she get married to any of these men, or at least have kids with any of them? According to her, it all comes down to the fact that she feels too independent and the fact she couldn't stand the thought of her long-term partner developing a bad habit while being married to the person. She said, "I've been in 7-year relationships 3 times and 1 14-year relationship. Sometimes you get too much information when you spend time with people. You start to see things, bad habits. You start to discover them, and then you have to marry bad habits, and I'm not sure I can cope with them." She also muses on the occasions when the desire to marry crossed her mind, only to find herself mismatched with potential partners who either didn't share her sentiment or those proposals fell short. Her reservations about matrimony stem from observing her own parents' lack of connection and warmth. Although her mother and father were intriguing individuals, she perceived no advantage for her in that institution. But that's not the end of Jacqueline's woes. Despite her timeless appearance, she confesses the struggle to find substantial roles in the present day. Producers often dismiss her based on age, overlooking the fact that she can embody characters outside her chronological years. Nonetheless, she remains hopeful that a meaningful opportunity will arise, just as portraying Miranda in her latest film allowed her to embody a woman who had savored the pleasures of life, an aspect she intimately understands. No denying, Jacqueline's life has been an intricate tapestry of love, loss, and self-discovery. First, her often lack of confidence in her looks and appearance proved the first hurdle she would have to surmount, and when she finally did, the next came. Her relationships with Saran and Gardner evoked a range of emotions, leaving lasting imprints. Though marriage eluded her, she stood firm in her belief that it offered limited growth, shaped by her parents' connection devoid of warmth. Unfazed by societal pressures, she continues to champion natural aging in an industry obsessed with artificial beauty. As she eagerly awaits her next captivating role, Jacqueline's own story weaves a narrative of resilience, authenticity, and the pursuit of meaningful connections. If you enjoyed this video, there's a good chance you'll also enjoy the one showing on your screen right now. Click, enjoy, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you on the next one.